Hey guys, sitting out here this morning after a little rain and drinking a cup of coffee, just enjoying the cooler weather. And I watched a video yesterday. I don't get a chance to watch it much of the day. I watch more of the evening and on the weekend. But anyhow, Purbane channel, they have made a video about giving. excuse me. excuse me again. Anyhow, she made a video giving advice to new preppers and what they need to do to get started. First off, I'm going to say that I don't really consider myself a prepper. I do buy extra food and I put up food. I can, I dehydrate and all that, but, my mom always done that. My grandparents always done that. Not so much dehydrating, but my grandparents had like 2 or 3 freezers full of vegetables and meat, stuff like that. And my mom has without a doubt enough food to feed a family of 6 for probably a year. And she don't even know what a prepper is. But what I was gonna, she mentioned in her video, what I was gonna say is the types of foods that they need to start buying. She called them, I think, type 1. I know she's right. Just buy what you can. Get what you can. The reason I'm making this video is I want to tell you about, like I mentioned, my grandparents. They were true preppers, in my opinion. Homesteaders, survivalists. I mean, they was everything in one. They could do anything. Both grandparents, both sets were raised on farms. They were real poor rural families. And this, what I'm going to say, applies more to rural settings than it does urban settings. Because I've never lived in a city or a town, except when I was, just out of school. And right before I got married, I rented an apartment in a town because it's closer to work. But my grandparents raised, probably my dad's parents, I know for sure, they raised probably 75 to 90% of everything that they ate up until my dad and all of them grew up and moved away. In the later years, they leaned more towards going to the grocery store, but they still preserved their own food and their own meat. They kept chickens, they kept hogs. My grandpa, he hunted, when he first retired, he hunted like 5 days a week. 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I mean, the man loved to hunt. And he only stopped that when his health deteriorated to where he couldn't. He had black lung disease. He was a retired coal miner. And what that is where he breathed the coal dust, it sets up inside his lungs and it hardened up, and he couldn't climb these hills, as well as he could have in younger years. But their main diet consisted probably of pinto beans, which everybody around here call them soup beans. You just slow cook them, throw in some pork, hog jaw, bacon, ham hocks, some kind of side meat of pork. It gives it a salty flavor. Cornmeal, flour, and sugar, salt, pepper, molasses. A lot of people, instead of using sugar, used honey or molasses. I remember as a young child going to a meal where they was making sorghum, and they used a horse to turn the meal. And as they was cooking off the foam, they would give you little pieces of sugar cane, and you could go up and you could dip that sugar cane in there, and it's just like candy. And my grandmother, when I would spend the night with them, like in the summer, and we'd watch TV late at night, a movie would come on or something, she would fix what she called sorghum balls. And what it was just popcorn, and you pour sorghum over it and form it into balls about the size of a softball. And it's delicious. And that's what she grew up on. That was her candy bars and stuff, because they didn't have the money for it. But they lived, you know, a real frugal means of living. My grandmother was the oldest of 13 children, and her and my great-grandmother was having children the same age. My dad's got uncles and aunts that's the same age as him. And my grandmother started, she told me when she was big enough to where her fingers could touch each other around the hoe handle, that's when she started working in the garden. And I mean, she was just a remarkable woman. I mean, all you ladies on YouTube, I look up to you, but I just wish you could have met her. I mean, she would have been, if YouTube had been in her day, she would have been the queen. So she could do anything, from cooking to canning to raising animals, gardening, raising kids. I mean, she was the bomb. But you know, they kind of instilled in me a work ethic that I can tell the difference between me and my wife. The difference, because she grew up just with her parents, and you know, I was around both sets of my grandparents quite a bit, plus my parents. My dad's working man, I know, and I mean, he's retired, and he probably works harder than most people that's not retired. But you know, you don't have to go out and buy every new thing. Everybody's going to tell you that you need to start here, you need to start there. You know what you eat now, buy that. If you don't have an alternative way to cook it, if there's not going to be any electricity, get an alternative way. If you don't have any means to get water, you know, you need to come up with a way to get water. You know, I work for a water treatment plant, and I started out as a field worker. And I'm just going to tell you, when the power goes off, the water's gone. Because if we don't have electricity to run pumps, then it'll last. The way most systems are set up, you've got 24 hours of reserve water to last. That's what those water tanks are for, is a 1 day supply of water. So, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're not serious about prepping or being prepared, you know, you need to get that way. Like Deb said, nobody knows when it's going to hit. Just do what you can. I'm not 100% prepared. Probably never will be. Because you're always going to find things that you're without when you get in a situation like that. That's about all I've got to say, guys. You know, just do what you can, and just look to the Lord to get you through a situation like that, and He will, if at all possible. You might not have every convenience that you want, but you might get by. But that's all I've got to say, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like the video. And I'm going to do this as a video response to Deb's video. So guys, thanks for watching.